Hi there. I've been thinking recently that, sometimes we look at life and feels like we're in the middle of a movie. Feels like we think we know what's going on. But thinking lately, what if there's an incredible plot twist that not many people are considering? And when you kind of pull back a little bit, when you take a look at the contrast of duality, and you look at the loving nature of Father, Mother, God, and then you look at some of the chaos in the world, and there's lots of even religious dogma or scriptures and writings and that really supported an Armageddon type of a finish, and that it's more or less us versus them, or even look at the narrative, look at almost everything. It's painting a picture. It's all there's a great divide, and that divide is, it still adds separation. You look in the scriptures, it's talking about the separation of the wheat and the tares, and just choose a lane. There's a broad way and a narrow way, and there's all this divide. And then you get the concept that we're actually living in perhaps some kind of a experiment that Prime Creator has set up to prove a point to the rest of all that is, that love will find its way home. So when you look at the pure essence of God way, the scope of love, and that love knows no bounds, is the most powerful force ever to exist, and it comes from the heart of all that is. And kind of reminds me of the movie that came out in '96, the White Squall, and they're on a ship and they're working together as a crew, and then they come into a situation where there's a horrible storm, and it becomes a part of pretty much survival, life and death. And they have a motto that was working with them and for them, was where we go one, we go all. That means we're in this together, and we're not going to give up. And that just got reiterated about 3 years ago as well, through the eight letter nine together of the alphabet. And who I'm talking about is just this concept. I was kind of wondering, what does that really mean? And back to the Armageddon kind of a doom and gloom scenario, there was always a lot of emphasis on a rapture. I'm going to be pulled out of here. It doesn't matter what happens. Let the earth go off to its destruction in a handbasket. I don't. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to be raptured and I'll be in heaven. And it doesn't seem to be that there's any kind of soul growth or expansion that you would experience to live here on this incarnation, on this earth, in this experiment, if you're just sitting idly by waiting for a ticket to go somewhere else without doing any work. I'm not saying you save yourself necessarily through works, but the heart of the matter is, we're here to grow. We're here to face our fears. We're here to look at, get rid of some of the karma. And so realizing that we're actually living our life now, like typically when you would pass away, you might have a life review. We've had a lot of testimonies of people that have seemingly passed on, and then they come back and they explain what the story is. And there's there's usually flashpoints of their life that everything shows up, and then there's kind of a playback, and they kind of assess what's going on, and that in essence is the way we're living our life. But it seems like in this incarnation, we're doing that journey while we're conscious on earth, as we're playing some of the roles and the situations, some of our past hurts and triggers and wounds and stuff, that we're kind of doing the review up front without having to cross over and see the lens of the divine. We're taking the lens of the divine within us, taking a look at our life and setting things in order. We're kind of cleaning the house. We're sweeping away the remnants of lessons that need to be learned, tying up the loose ends. We're going along our journey, our soul path. So when we talk about karma, I'm not at all talking about good and bad. I'm only referring to that as taking care of the things that we came here to learn in this incarnation. Maybe there were some things that a past life that we didn't quite finish up, so maybe we tag that on to this incarnation to learn that lesson as well. And who's know how many times we've incarnated and what's left. I think a lot of us on the planet right now, there might not be a whole lot of karma. There might be just some residue. I think we're probably waiting just around the corner for our own personal awakening, that we can kind of see beyond the veil and assess really what's going on in the grand scheme of things, and be able to take that consciousness of that and bring it home into our everyday life and start to manifest a greater knowing or understanding, and being a better channel of love, and because we'll be free of karma, that the spirit can just flow through us really, really well. So when you talk about faith and fear, they're both based on the same thing: false evidence appearing real. Hell is only a figment of your imagination. Whether we manifest our own reality, if we think we will spend some time in heaven or hell or purgatory, chances are we will. We will face our expectations, and we'll deal with the consequences. It's not beyond my scope to think that should I leave this vessel, if I believed in heaven, I might have a period of time where I could be in a blissful state, and then I think I'll have a tap on the shoulder, say, okay, come on, hope you enjoyed that few minutes or days or weeks or whatever, but it's time to roll your sleeves up again, and you're going back in. And that's just interesting way of seeing it. But same with hell. Let's say if we believe that we aren't worthy, and that we've done some evil things that are unforgivable, that love cannot reach us because we're beyond hope, maybe we'll believe that we'll spend time in hell or purgatory. And that might be the case, because we're going to manifest that. But again, that period might be very short, maybe not be based on reality. It'll just be a part of our life lesson learning, and we'll go back in. But a part of me believes that we're on the cusp of people that are going to go through, and some are going to go experience some of the new revelations while still being conscious in our earthly body, which is kind of cool. So when you think that we all have our own free will to create our life experience, and we kind of wrote the script as to how we're going to ride out this last wave of the Great Awakening, as you might put it. So with our life review, people get very fearful of God and this power being that judges and rules and sends some of his children here and some of his children there. And just to be straight, in my perspective, we are the only ones who judge. We judge ourselves. We're the ones. We decide when we are deserving of Prime Creator's love and grace. It's up to us. It's up to us to decide when we're going to start that journey home to love and light, back to source. I have no doubt that love will fill the earth. And when it does, a stone heart will be supple again. There's nothing more powerful than love. Begin to see that this experiment, we all participate. There is no bench. There's no getting kicked out of the game. We all turn back to love. And the earth and mankind will ascend as divinely orchestrated from its inception. The game's over. We're all leveling up. Love wins. We begin to level up once we begin to release all that no longer serves us. When we are willing to peek into the shadows, to see what part of us needs to be loved a little more. Surrender is the opposite of giving up. It's freeing yourself from the desire to be in control. It's letting go of how you think of things, the way they should be. We willingly surrender our defense mechanisms, our triggers, our dogmatic stance, and consider the connectedness of all that is. Begin to realize there is no nemesis, antagonist, just a role to be played and a lesson to be learned. Lead the way, show the way. We accumulate keys to the kingdom, and these keys can be shared along our journey. The earth was full of light workers, way showers, world bridgers, warriors of light. These are the final decades of the great triumphal march back into the arms of love and grace of Source, Prime Creator. The procession of the saints standing in our glory, shining our light within all the world. Where we go one, we go all. Wow. Was that the experiment? Who will choose? No. The experiment. Just wait. Everyone will choose. What happens when love reigns on the earth? What happens when so many people are living in love, light, no longer judgmental? They have peace in their heart. They're generous. They're giving. They're kind. Helping in every way possible. What happens when there's a 100th monkey effect on the planet through mankind? What happens when there's more heart-based, love-based, spirit-filled humans on the earth? By far the majority. What if the minority gets shrinking more and more and more? What happens when there's only thousands, hundreds left, surrounded by everyone, honestly loving on them with the purest love energy from Prime Creator Source? You think everyone will be cheering? The last handful, the last person across the finish line? Wouldn't that be glorious? It's only a reality when you start to realize how powerful God's love is. There's no heart that can't be forgiven. because it's you that gives permission. No one's judging. No matter who you are, what you've done, the heart of God still cries out to you. It says, come home. You were loved beyond measure. Everything can change for the good. Come back to love and light and health and balance and unity. Right? Imagine if all the earth became our soul tribe. One day. All right. Bless you. Bye-bye.